Now reporting a ninth scientist with ties to NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab has been added to the growing list of researchers across the country who have died under mysterious circumstances or disappeared. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Corke has the details. Hey, Kevin.
Afternoon to you, Will. Mike Hicks was a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, and apparently he died back in July of 2023 at the age of 59. But the cause of death was never made public, and no record of an autopsy being performed on him has ever been found. Now, on its face, that might not sound like such a big deal, but his is, as you point out, the ninth case of a person with ties to America's space and nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years, including retired Air Force General Bill McCaslin, who was reported missing by his wife more than a month ago. He'd been studying unidentified anomalous phenomena and potential non-human intelligence. Now, in common speak, that simply means aliens. And to be sure, the trend of unexplained deaths and disappearances is setting off alarm bells, both among national security experts and among lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
I think there's a message being sent in all this. I think we better be really careful, and it's more than 8. You take any other profession in the world, take car salesmen. How many of those have disappeared or died mysteriously in this in this country? And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of those. This is a very, very small group of people, and we better start paying attention to what's going on.
The great Tim Burchett speaking there. Another scientist missing, Monica Reza, JPL's Director of Materials Processing. She vanished without a trace last June, just months after beginning her tenure at the NASA lab. And perhaps most vexing of all, because of the nature of the research being conducted and the unusual circumstances surrounding many of these disappearances and deaths, we have scant new information, Will, about leads, though the investigation, we are told, at this very hour does continue. Will.
Are there
scientists, all missing or dead, and the government still has no answers. People who know the most classified secrets in America are disappearing. First, a materials scientist with NASA ties. She went for a hike in California in 2024 and never came back. No body, no evidence, and no leads. Search and rescue found nothing. She's still listed as missing. Then there's the retired Air Force General, decades in advanced research programs. One day in 2025, he vanished from his own home. No signs of a struggle, no sightings since. And these cases keep coming. An astrophysicist, respected, published, connected to cutting-edge research, was shot and killed on his own front porch. What makes the story so compelling is the overlap. Several of these individuals had professional connections or worked on classified or cutting-edge projects, which fueled speculation about whether there could be a larger pattern or even a coordinated threat. Now authorities are focused on why. 8 people in different states and different fields, but they all had one thing in common: access to information most people will never see. For now, what looks like a chilling pattern may actually be a series of unrelated tragedies. But until more answers emerge, the mystery of these scientists continues to spark concern and debate.
Gromar, pictured here, was an astrophysicist at Caltech. He worked on a NASA-supported space telescope project and infrared systems. Now, he was shot and killed at his home just 2 months ago. Then there's Frank Maywald. He was the senior scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, focused on advanced satellite systems, and he died nearly 2 years ago, but his cause of death has never been made public. Meanwhile, Monica Reza also reportedly connected to NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab project. She went missing last summer while hiking in California. No trace. It keeps going. There's William McCaslin, a retired Air Force general. He, too, is missing. He's a former head of Air Force Research Lab and oversaw advanced space and surveillance programs. He's been missing since February. And reports say he once oversaw funding connected to a project that also included Monica Reza. Now, there's more. To New Mexico, Melissa Casais. She has been missing since last summer. She worked at Los Alamos National Lab. She had an administrative role, but reportedly also had security clearances. Just months earlier that she went missing, so too did Anthony Chavez, also connected to Los Alamos, an engineer. He disappeared during a walk. No signs, no answers. And then finally, there's Nuno Loureiro. You remember Nuno Loureiro? He was the MIT researcher focused on nuclear fusion and was shot and killed in his Massachusetts home last December.
Scientists are disappearing, and it nearly looks like in the Netflix series The Three Body Problem. What happened? There are a number of high-ranking scientists, some with NASA and some with a famous nuclear laboratory, who have disappeared, 8 of them all together in the last years. There is one case from the year 2024 as a top scientist at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, that is NASA's arm for robotic missions into space, has died at the age of 61. There was no obituary issued by NASA, which is very strange. Also, it was completely unclear why he died, because he never complained about any health issues. This also is causing questions, of course, as well as the case in New Mexico. There is a top scientist at the National Los Alamos Laboratory, of course, the famed site of the first nuclear explosion during the Manhattan Project during World War II. This scientist have left his house, he left his phone behind and his wallet, and was never seen again as he was departing his house on foot. The search is still ongoing, but there are no answers. Altogether, 8 of these scientists are now dead or missing, and of course many are speculating about the Three Body Problem, which is a series where aliens basically are killing scientists on Earth to prevent human progress, to fight them in the future. This is a real world stories with real people disappearing and dying, and it's throwing up a lot of questions.
UFO community is getting quite spooky, especially after a congressman went on a live interview and claimed that he's been classified on information that he feels as though the United States people deserve to know, after Fox has covered a story that includes 8 missing scientists that all have their hands in classified information, the latest one being Mr. McCaselings, and I'm going to run down to exactly what the hell I think is going on. These are the 8 scientists that have gone missing, all one after another, and they all have one very big similarity in common, but this is the one who just went missing last, and that is McCaselings. But what is very, very, very scary about this entire situation is that there was someone who went on the news, I will not say his name, and said that they are doing quote-unquote genetic mutations in underground labs with aliens, crossbreeding them with humans. Now, what do all of these people have in common? Unfortunately, they do all work for the United States government. But not only that, they all are connected to high-level science, technology, or defense work. That's astrophysicists, or they were a part of military research and advanced defense programs. And in each case, they all disappeared under unusual circumstances and died in ways that raised questions.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens.
All of these people would have had information on exactly what that congressman was talking about because they had high-level security clearance, and this man specifically, McCaselings, worked at the place where Roswell, Mexico was said to have the scrap parts of UFOs and alien bodies, way deeper than genetically modifying material. I think that the same thing and was looking into when he was trying to inseminate and multiple people, and he was into eugenics. I think this is something like that, both an alien species, and our government is using what's going on in another country to try to cover that up instead of getting the information to the public, because it would, as a congressman stated today, basically eradicate us and our mental state.
Missing or dead scientists, many of them, I think most of them, with just in the last couple of months. Some of these stories do go back about 2 years, but they work at a handful of highly classified, high-access areas like NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories or Los Alamos in New Mexico. And they are missing, or they are largely, Nuno Loureiro is a solved murder. The others are unsolved murders. He was the Brown shooter up in the Northeast. What's going on as far as you understand right now with this story?
Well, I think it sends a chilling effect. I think there's a message being sent in all this. I think we better be really careful. And it's more than 8. You take any other profession in the world, how many of those have disappeared or died mysteriously in this country? And there's hundreds, if not thousands of those. This is a very, very small group of people. and we better start paying attention to what's going on. I think the message is pretty clear. I've talked to some people, and this has had a real chilling effect. People don't want to talk about this issue of unidentified flying objects anymore, and it's kind of difficult to get to people because they are afraid, and probably rightfully so. Everybody says, Birchie, they get on about little green men and flying saucers. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your hard-earned tax dollars. And when a bureaucrat tells me the president is on a need-to-know basis, we got to get...
The reason the scientists have gone missing is because they were all a part of building the military's secret weapon, Rods from God, aka Project Thor. It's a satellite hovering in space with rods the size of a telephone pole, around 20 feet long and 1 foot in diameter. And it is made with one of the densest metals on Earth. It's called tungsten. Also, I do know that that metal has an extremely high melting point, allowing it to make its way through the atmosphere. It strikes with the force of a nuclear bomb, but has zero nuclear fallout. It's all based upon kinetic energy. The most commonly described version of this is that it's a satellite that's hanging in a lower Earth orbit, around 500 kilometers up, that carries a magazine of these rods. It's said with just 6 to 8 of these satellites spread across a given orbital plane, any point on Earth's surface could be targeted within 12 to 15 minutes. So just because you take one out does not mean that you're completely covered from a specific area, because how it works is they're just going off where it's orbiting at that exact time, and then when it's over that spot, that's when they drop the metal rod. So yeah, these people were supposedly working on this. Now here's the thing that gets tricky. Maybe do these people know this is about to be a rod of God warfare? Do other countries have this orbiting also? Are they going into hiding? Are they going in bunkers? Now, a perfect example to get a visual on how this works. There's a G.I. Joe movie that showed an example of this weapon and how it works. I'll play the clip.
And Trump don't want to bomb Iran because of no oil or energy or none of that. Iran is holding a Stargate. If you've been watching Professor Yang and all them people, Iran is holding a Stargate that could change the world, and the United States want control of that Stargate. It ain't got nothing to do with no oil, y'all. The oil is a cover-up. And they released more files saying that the UFOs, the aliens, are already here. So everything that they doing, the so-called bombing, I'm gonna bomb them, they gonna bomb us, all of that is a distraction to keep us from what's going on. Iran got a Stargate, the last Stargate, if I'm not mistaken. I'm paraphrasing of what Dr. Yang them was saying. Iran has a Stargate that could change the trajectory of the whole world if they crunk it up. And the United States, they want control of it. That's what's going on. I'm telling you.
It's happening today that could potentially limit our risk of severe weather later tonight. But if they don't change the atmosphere, then we're still primed for severe weather tonight.
Future float.
Float?
Future floats.
Like how like David Blaine, like one leg up, one leg down type, like actually float.
No, this is no bull. Future one day was in the studio. Future told me like, Nuke, write a script. Want to do a movie, and he was gonna do it with Big Bang Black, and he was pressing me about writing a movie, and I finally wrote the movie. About a month later, and we went back to the studio, and I'm like, Future, I got the script ready, and whatever he was on, dude was like floating. I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker's floating. It's like, yo, this motherfucker's like, yo, motherfucker's just like floating around, like he was there but wasn't there. Very slow, same pace, motherfucker's floating. And that was weird.
But the floating thing doesn't make any sense. Like,
bro, motherfucker's floating, bro. Future float.
Like his feet were above the ground and then he moved?
The way that dude moved, bro, was like this. There was no
hoverboard? No hoverboard?
No hoverboard, bro. Motherfucker was just like this. Future's like this. And he'll look at you like, what up, kid? This nigga's Future's different like that.
Like a nigga like me, give a fuck about a nigga shooting up the church. I gotta take the shit up, God is on my God, on my earth.
his face for $75 million, and then his wife filed for divorce. And somehow, he's about to walk away with her money too. Khaby Lame, 160 million followers, the most followed TikToker on earth, and allegedly, he's playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. In 2024, he sold his image and likeness, $75 million. A clone, an AI version of himself. He can retire tomorrow and never work again. And then 2025 hits. His wife files for divorce. Unreconcilable differences. Standard stuff until the courts start digging his assets. Not in his name. The house, the cars, the investments, all under his father's name, all protected, untouchable. So instead of his wife getting half of his fortune, he's now entitled to half of hers. $10 million coming his way. He sold his face, hid his money, and now he's taking hers. This man is about to be a billionaire by doing absolutely nothing. Allegedly,
We unlock truths within ourselves. That's true. Our journey into space will not only make us stronger and more prosperous, but will unite us behind grand ambitions and bring us all closer together. Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that? I thought politics would do that. Well, we'll have to rely on space instead. Every launch into the skies is another step forward toward a future where our differences seem small.
Across cultures, and a friend of mine recommended Oshun to me. Now, this was not a black friend, this was a white friend. Oshun is an African goddess. She is an Orisha. I really wanted something like very specific. My friend was like, make an offering to Oshun. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, I'll bring some oranges and like a sweet sticky bun to the water. And I sat and I prayed to Oshun and I asked her very humbly, like, please grant me this wish. Thank you. And I left the offerings. Well, a couple days go by and I don't get what I wanted. And I was like, dang, brush it off. So a couple weeks later, something else comes upon my radar that I really want. And again, I bring an offering to Oshun and I meditate and I'm trying to connect with her at this water. And I ask her, Oshun, I think the first time was just a test. I understand, like, I'm back again. Please grant me this wish. Well, guess what? It doesn't come through. Like, the opposite of what I want to happen happens. And a couple nights later, I have this dream. And I dreamed that Oshun came to me in this dream. And she said, my magic is not for you. My magic is not for your ancestry. And it was so powerful. I didn't feel like she was angry, but it was very matter of fact. And I was like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And so since then, I will leave her offerings sometimes, pay respects to her, but I never ask anything of her. And I never will again for the rest of my life. It was really powerful.
Made fun of hippies, but they made sure we did. That's another thing they coded into the brain. All hippies are just people being like, you know what? This society is so fucked that I have to live in a camper and eat wheat bagels and broccoli for lunch and dinner. That's it. That's all I can do so I can actually live. because these people are fucking crazy.
Hired to go to Mount Shasta and dig a hole, and they would not tell us what we were looking for. If I found anything that seemed out of the ordinary, I was told to pull it out and face the opposite direction. Boulders, we're pulling these boulders out about basketball sized, and when they were split, the inside was dark. There's no quartz crystals in it. Like, the fuck are we doing out here? You know, they won't tell us anything. You think that's just gonna end the moment we find what they're looking for? It got to the point where we were nervous of what we found and if they were gonna let us step off of that mountain.
If y'all paid more attention, bro, they couldn't fuck us over like that. Bro, look at the moon. This moon phase doesn't even exist. We'll look up at the moon and be like, oh my gosh, the moon's so pretty tonight. Look at it, look like a smiley face. Exactly. This moon phase does not even exist. That moon phase doesn't exist. Tell me I'm wrong. Go to Google right now. Go to even ChatGPT, since that's what y'all like to use. Go to Google right now and look at the image of the different moon phases. Please tell me what moon phase is the motherfucking smiley face one. All moon phases either go from full to new, which is no moon, or the moon is on the sides. It's either on the left side of the moon or the right side of the moon, not the top and not the bottom. But they'll put this right here in the sky. They'll put this in the sky, a smiley face moon. And you won't pay attention to it. You won't realize that, maybe the moon ain't what all this conspiracy theorists and bitch, it ain't nothing but a fucking big ass database where they go up there and, bro, listen, that's not a moon phase. Look up the moon phases right now. And the moon shines on the left side of the moon or the right side of the moon, or it's full or it's empty. It's no crescent on the top, crescent on the bottom. There's none of that shit, bro. What the fuck is that?